Through my years of observing people, I've learned that intelligence isn't just about knowledge. It's about how you live, how you treat others, and how you learn from mistakes. But there are clear signs that reveal when someone lacks wisdom, and the first sign is a closed mind. A closed mind is built on fear, pride, and stubbornness. Such people reject new ideas and trap themselves in old ways, blocking their own growth. They see anything different as a threat and pretend their rigidity is confidence, when true confidence means being open to learning. I once worked with a manager named Mark who refused to try modern project management software, insisting that the old methods were good enough. While other teams advanced, his team struggled, and instead of adapting, he blamed his staff and external factors. His refusal to open his mind held him and his team back, showing how damaging a closed mindset can be. A closed mind doesn't just block new knowledge, it also holds back everyone around it. Wise people, however, admit they don't know everything and stay open to learning. Stoic philosophy teaches that wisdom isn't about always being right, but about adapting and improving. Admitting mistakes and being willing to learn creates growth and stronger teams. The second sign of foolishness is constant blaming. Foolish people avoid responsibility by making excuses, but this only traps them in failure. For example, Lisa, an event organizer I worked with, blamed the marketing team when her poorly planned conference failed, even though her own delays caused the problem. Her refusal to take responsibility cost her trust and her position. In contrast, wise people own their mistakes, knowing that responsibility leads to growth. The third sign of foolishness is arrogance over humility. Some people always want to prove they're the smartest, but arrogance blocks learning and collaboration. Michael, a corporate manager, constantly interrupted and mocked others in meetings. When a project failed, he blamed his team instead of recognizing that his arrogance had caused the problems. True wisdom comes with humility, listening more than speaking, valuing learning over ego, and focusing on growth instead of being right. Wisdom comes when we open ourselves to new perspectives, admit when we're wrong, and stay willing to learn. Arrogance only traps us, while humility helps us and others grow. The fourth sign of foolishness is a lack of empathy. When someone cannot step into another person's shoes or understand their feelings, they live disconnected from real relationships and often hurt others without realizing it. For example, my colleague Paul used to complain about delays without caring why they happened. When Susan missed a deadline because her son was seriously ill, Paul publicly criticized her, ignoring her struggle. But later, when he had to care for his sick mother, he finally understood how harsh he had been. A lack of empathy not only makes people seem cold, it also blinds them to growth through connection. Stoic philosophy teaches that wisdom is not just about knowledge but about building meaningful relationships. Empathy is not weakness, it is strength, a bridge to wisdom and humanity. When you truly listen and care, you don't just help others, you also grow yourself. Sometimes we all lack empathy, but the first step to fixing it is learning to listen without judgment. The fifth sign of foolishness is the fear of change. Staying in the comfort zone feels safe, but it limits growth. Life is always moving, and those who resist change get left behind. For example, Michael refused to leave his old neighborhood even when things changed around him. Only after moving closer to his children did he realize that change brought comfort and new opportunities. The sixth sign of foolishness is talking more than listening. People who dominate conversations and ignore others' views create tension and make their loved ones feel unvalued. John, a father, constantly interrupted his family at dinner, dismissing their thoughts and stories. This left them feeling unheard and hurt. True wisdom comes from listening, not just speaking, because listening builds respect, love, and understanding. Stoic philosophy reminds us that change and silence are keys to growth, while fear and constant talking only keep us stuck. And the truth is, all of us show these signs at times, but the wise are those who recognize them and choose to grow. Here's the main lesson. Noticing these signs isn't about judging yourself or others, it's about getting better. Stoic wisdom teaches that growth doesn't come from always being right, but from learning, admitting mistakes, and choosing to improve. Every foolish habit can be turned into a chance to become wiser. So if you see yourself in any of these signs, don't feel bad, take it as a chance to grow. Step out of your comfort zone, listen more, blame less, and accept change. The path to wisdom isn't for perfect people, it's for those brave enough to say, I can do better. Remember, foolishness is temporary, but wisdom is a lifelong journey. And you don't have to walk it alone. Keep learning, keep growing, and stay with us for more meaningful lessons.